What's up, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and goes going old school, talking to an old friend of ours, Scott Kent from Lion Fight Muay Thai. They got a show on September 23rd at the Virgin Hotel here in Las Vegas, formerly known as the Hard Rock. The event will be taking place at the place called formerly the Joint. So a lot coming together. It's now called the Theater at the Virgin Hotels. Tickets are still available. All right, Saturday, September 23rd, 7 p.m. Get there early because the doors opens at 6, and you want to get in your seat because I'm telling you, the action starts from the opening bell of the opening fight. Also, if you can't make it, Fight TV's got you covered. That's how you can tune in for the fights. Welcome back, Scott Ken. How are you?
Gentlemen, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, and good to see Lion Fight back in our lives, we can say, and here in Las Vegas. Bad timing for us. As you know, we've been in many of your shows. We won't be able to attend this one, but we'll definitely be watching. But that's great to see you guys, I guess, maybe getting the ball rolling again in Vegas. Is that how it's going to be?
Yeah, COVID hit everybody pretty hard. And I know we were ended up doing a lot of shows overseas. We were in Kansas and Wyoming. We had our contract with UFC Fight Pass. So, it was tough for everybody. And Vegas, as you know, just kind of closed down. So it was good for us to kind of retool everything. And, we're real excited about some of the things we've got planned going into 2024 and really excited about this 75th show here at the theater at Virgin. We did the last show at the old Hard Rock at the Joint, the last fight there. So it's exciting to be back to this event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you have a world title fight going on there with two undefeated fighters, and we'll get to that in just a second. But Jessica Rose Clark, who's been on our radar for many years, I see she's also on the card. She's in the co-main event slot. How did you come to, I guess, cross paths with her? She's excited. We already talked to her.
Well, it's one of the things that's great about this job is you get to meet so many nice folks. And Karen Fitzgibbons, who is training her now, we've worked with a lot of his fighters over the years, Kevin Ross, Gaston Bolanos, all those guys. He called me and he said, well, would you be interested? I've got a star here who was with the UFC for years. She really wants to try some Muay Thai. And we did that with Chip Pollard. He was an MMA guy. So when he threw out her name, I'm like, well, absolutely. Let's put it together. As you guys know, when we had Chris Cyborg on, it was probably our highest rated show we ever had. So it's exciting for our sport. It's exciting for a lot of the MMA folks. Get to see a different side of Jesse Jess.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask you because you've had a pretty great relationship with MMA athletes, whether it be athletes who are free to move about and go fight for you, go fight for somewhere else, fighters that started with you and now are in MMA. So, like a Gaston Bolanos, for example, I remember seeing Hakeem Dawadu with you guys. What are you opening the doors for MMA fighters like a Jessica Rose Clark or any others? Is that like your type of fighter?
I think it's the business itself that's evolving. You look at what's happening with boxing, with MMA, and people want to try, may have a particular skill set where they want to try, or they'll go to Thailand and train at a gym in Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I know Valentina was there for the last month. And, it's a great opportunity if you're a striker to test your set of skills in traditional Muay Thai. It's a big part of all the MMA fighters' arsenal. We've got the biggest brand out there as far as just promoting pure Muay Thai. So, and being here in Vegas, it just makes sense. We're open to lots of other folks that want to come in and give us a try. We'd love to showcase Muay Thai like we did with Jarena Bars against Chris Cyborg. Great for the sport.
Yeah, that was a great fight. I remember that. Jarena, Dutch fighter, has fought in MMA as well. Great story, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was a like a cooler at a nightclub in Amsterdam. I think that was her job. So she's a badass every night of the year, not just in the lion fight ring. Are you guys going to bring back the ring like normal? I mean, that's a beautiful way to take in fights. I love MMA. It's our sport. But the cage is a little bit more obstructed than the ring. You guys bringing back the ring?
We'll always have the ring. We'll always be in a ring. I think it's the best for the fans. It's, we try and keep as much of the tradition of the sport as we can and still make it palatable for an American audience. The ring is the best way to see a fight, in my opinion, and
I agree.
something we're always going to stick with.
Yeah, in person, you're not rubbernecking or anything. I mean, it's a clear view, folks. I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. A lot of blood is spilled at these events. Go ahead, Goose.
Hey, Scott. So when we first started talking to you, so much has changed in regards to just there wasn't any of these celebrity boxing matches. There was no bare knuckle. I think PFL was just barely getting off the ground. There's so many things that consume a fight fan's time. Can you maybe give us a little pitch, like as far as Lion Fight, how it stands out from everyone else, and maybe some of those intricacies that a lot of people just aren't aware about Muay Thai?
Yeah, well, just kind of, and we've talked about this in the past. Why is it the most exciting stand-up fighting sport in the world? It's because fighters can use their elbows, their knees, they can kick and they can punch. And I was talking to somebody the other day about bare knuckle boxing, and I said, no, I have respect for any kind of a fighting art form. And they go, well, if you get hit, and I said, well, I've been punched without a glove. Have you ever been kneed in the chin? Have you ever been kicked upside the head? Have you had an elbow split your forehead open? And I said, that's why those are the kinds of elements that we try and really focus on with our casual fans or folks that are kind of confused as far as what MMA is compared to Muay Thai. It's the art of 8 limbs. You got 8 weapons. And in my opinion, it's the most devastating stand-up combat sport in the world.
What about as far as Americans and Muay Thai? How do you feel like maybe in the last 5 years, are they gaining more steam? Are they gaining momentum? Or are they starting? Because every time I drive around, I see quite a few Muay Thai gyms here and there. Like, has it really caught on with the American crowd?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a process. You're always swimming upstream against jujitsu. They had the foothold in with the MMA audience, and then with the UFC's explosion, a lot more people are getting into Muay Thai and traditional Muay Thai. I think it's a martial art that still is an untapped resource. I think we've got a long way to go to expand our sport. That's why we've reached out when we've had the opportunity with like a Jessie Jess. She's going to bring a whole new group of Muay Thai fans that maybe weren't really sure what it was, and see how serious she is about it. So I think, just combat sports has changed so much, guys. When I started this, and you remember back 13 years ago, we were passing fight posters out of the trunk of our cars at all the gyms. Now it's all social media. It's all ticket sales through the internet and through the box office. So we have to keep up with the times. We have to reach a broader audience, because I've always said, once you see Muay Thai, you're going to fall in love with it.
Scott, I can't really see what you're wearing right now, but I know you got something up your sleeve. You always plan ahead. Can you maybe share with us? Oh, nice. Can you maybe share with us some of the things that we could look forward to in 2024? I know somebody asked the other day, what about like one championship, cross promotion with them? What about different areas that maybe you guys haven't reached before? Will the show be traveling more? Will you be a little bit more now based in Las Vegas? Can you kind of give us a little tips on maybe what 2024 might look like for us?
Well, our initial investment, and remember, we started out at Prim, guys, but we were bringing in Cosmo Alexander. We were bringing in Stockman Cole. No one even knew who the heck these guys were, but we were bringing in world-class talent from really day one, when it was just a battle in the desert promotion. We've continued to grow that with, the Yodson Clys, Fabio Pincas, all of these international stars. So our investment really was getting an international brand. And I was fortunate enough, back in the day, to meet with, Dana and Lorenzo, and had lunch, and they were talking about the brand and how important that was. And Muay Thai's always had a lot of local and regional promotions, but nobody has really stepped up, not only internationally, but in the United States itself. And I think we felt like that was what we fulfilled by being at Foxwoods and Pachanga, and then our home here in Vegas. And we've done 74 shows in 9 countries now. So when I go to London, when I go to Italy, everybody knows Lion Fight. That was our investment in the brand. We really want to focus in 2024 on doing at least a fight a quarter here in Las Vegas. We're going to continue to expand the brand overseas. We're already looking at some potential dates, and probably in some areas of the world where we haven't been before. So it's an exciting time for us. Our fight this Saturday is a celebration for every fighter that's ever fought for us, everybody that's worked for us or volunteered. So I hope everybody sees it that way, as Muay Thai has exploded and how the brand has really become something that's recognized internationally.
Yes, I am glad you brought up that name. I wanted to connect the dots for a lot of the combat sports fans that may not have remembered that first run. It was nuts, folks. And Cosmo Alexander is the guy that broke Sage Northcutt's face up over at One Championship. Lion Fight has really had some vicious athletes. I think what was one guy, Malapet, I believe. And
Malapat fought for us for years. Cosmo
Fairtex.
fought Sock McCall, broke his, remember, he broke his wrist. He broke his orbital socket. He ended up having like 18 stitches. Cosmo lost the fight, but it was one of those defining fights where people were just like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before.
Kevin Ross, Angela Hill are 2 more names, very recognizable in the MMA world. And I'm telling you, the guys from Extreme Couture, the gyms in Vegas, everybody would go and come out and they'd be gushing. And I'm going to use that word again. When Eddie Alvarez fought at Bare Knuckle about 6 months ago or something, he was like, you could just tell he had just fought Chad Mendez. And he was like, I wouldn't mind doing this again. Almost like I could be done with MMA and I wouldn't mind, doing this again. And it was that same rush that I would see a lot of the athletes pre and post fight your events. I remember Chris Cyborg had nerves. She told me she had nerves because she said, MMA, I've done it so much. And obviously she's great at it, right? She goes, but she knew this one, like you said, 8 limbs are going to be coming at her. And she was fighting a top-notch athlete in Jarena Bars. And so I remember that buzz and goosebumps that everybody had. I can't endorse this event enough. The promotion, the events, and I'm glad you guys are back, Scott. Will it be something like 2020? You said maybe 1 a quarter, so it's going to start off a little slower. Like in 2021, I remember you guys came back with a bang after 2020, obviously slowed down the whole planet. But 2021, I think you had like 8-10 events. When can we get to that frequency when you guys, it was almost like a monthly thing?
I think we're going to be that way next year. When I said quarterly, I just meant in Las Vegas. We're looking at a couple potential partners here, a couple venues that we're looking at to where we would probably do our first fight back here. We might even try and do one by the end of the year, but our deal would be doing a fight a quarter here in Las Vegas, and then all across the U.S., hopefully, and throughout Europe again. Even Reno. We had some folks reach out in Reno that said, would love to do some shows in Reno. You mentioned Kevin Ross, just kind of an FYI. Kevin, who was probably the face of American Muay Thai for, his generation, he's going to be doing commentating for this fight.
Cool.
So we're excited to have him back, former Lion Fight world champion, and brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise. So it's going to be great to have him behind the mic.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely a legend in the sport of Muay Thai. And a lot of MMA athletes have trained with him, cross-trained, and they said he was a beast. I remember Milicic and Chevello would say that this event was their favorite to call because, again, MMA, it's a fun sport, but sometimes you have these lulls between an exciting fight and between exciting fights. Sometimes you just have a couple that slow things down. With Lion Fight, folks, I'm telling you, man, it is pretty gory, vicious, and violent from the beginning. So again, it's Saturday, the 23rd. If you find yourself in Vegas, go get yourself a ticket. Go to lionfight.com to start off. From there, you'll see links to the tickets that'll guide you towards Access TV, the box office there at the Virgin. formerly the Hard Rock. And if you can't take the event in person, the Fight TV will have a broadcast starting at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And again, the links you can go through Lion Fight to access that. Scott, it's been great catching up with you. And hopefully we can make the next event. I don't see why we wouldn't. It's rare that we really leave town, honestly. But thank you so much for doing the show, and good luck. I hope you have a killer event back here in Las Vegas.
Well, guys, happy birthday coming up. We appreciate it. You've been with us since the very beginning, and I'll always remember that and appreciate that. So thanks again for your support.
Thank you.